Uh, yeah, so yesterday afternoon I gave a talk here called "In the Box" or "Out of the Box," and it's a it's an expression that we use a lot in audio engineering and audio production, particularly in popular music actually, but all across the board, because it's much more common now for people to work entirely within software, within the computer. That's become known as working in the box. But of course, how we were all trained and how we really enjoy making music and working in the studio is with analog equipment on a mixing desk, which is now called working out of the box, and everyone loves to work out of the box. And so yesterday I went through a lot of the reasons why that's so much more enjoyable and the impact that it actually has on the content. And that's the point that I've been really trying to get across, is that if you work entirely in the box, work entirely in art of any nature really, in completely in the digital domain, well, that leads the contents to be of a particular type. And there are also lots of technical problems with digital media, and not just with the work process, but actually with the media itself, that we are curiously blind to, which of course don't exist in the analog domain. We know what the problems are with the analog domain in audio. It's distortion and noise floor, and but in the digital domain, we still have to learn what a lot of the problems are, and the problems are more subtle, but are equally difficult. Well, actually, much more difficult to cope with, I find, in the long run. So that was what I was trying to point out yesterday, with numerous examples and long-winded explanations, and then as a sort of example of perhaps of an extreme case of analog work method. I was demonstrating the theremin, which is a electrical instrument that I've been playing for over 20 years now. And it was first invented in the 1920s by a Russian, Leon Termen. And his life, it's worth looking up his life story. He's perhaps one of the most fascinating biographies of the 20th century. Very, very interesting. And the thing about the instrument is there are no discrete steps in any aspect. Pitch, volume, performance. There is no discrete steps at all. It's completely analog in terms of its audio interface. Well, the interface itself in terms of the audio, how you approach it, how you play it. And so it's very difficult for those of us who've grown up in a completely digital world of steps and numerically defined integers to deal with that instrument. And I think its day is yet to come, even though it's almost 100 years old now. There is still a lot to find out from playing an instrument like that. So it was a chance to demonstrate that to a few people before we ran out of time, sadly. Because it's such an enormous subject, and draws in so many different aspects of our lives, from the use of digital media for distribution, down to the working methods that apply to design as much to music, to all sorts of visual arts, even with dance and performance. It's finding the positive aspects as well as the negative aspects of current trends.